Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Stoneblock 2. How you guys doing today? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So listen up. Today we have but one goal, one burning mission that drives us forward, and that is to create these bad boys right here. HDPE sheets. These are the things that we need to craft one of the end game type things, the Tome of Knowledge. This thing right here. We looked at it last time. So this is the overarching recipe. This we can already create. This we can already create. This is what we need to create. So this is the recipe for it in the extreme crafting table, and you can see that everything that's on here we have made. We have access to all this except for the HDPE sheets. So to create those, there's only one way that you can do it, and that is through the mechanism mod, because they are the plastic type material in there. So to create them, we need HDPE pellets. We can put them in here, into the enrichment chamber, or we can just craft them together. Obviously, the enrichment chamber is better. That is another machine we'll have to make. So, how do we get the pellets? Well, that's through a PRC with liquid ethylene and oxygen and substrate. So how do we get substrate? That is through the PRC again, but this time with hydrogen and water. This is the basic way of doing it, which off-puts the ethylene, which helps you to make the process better, but really the basic one is good enough. But that substrate comes from biofuel. So how do we get biofuel? Biofuel is done through the mechanism crusher. There's a variety of recipes. You could look at all of them yourself if you want, but for my money, and because I checked out already, pumpkins are the best. So I put pumpkins into one of our garden cloche, and it's been slowly ticking away, making pumpkins for us. And that gets us biofuel. So to make the crusher, we need this. And this is the basic control unit, a steel casing, some lava buckets, some redstone, and the basic control unit is made through the metallurgic infuser. We have finally hit the very bottom of the thing, the metallurgic infuser. This is the start to all of the mechanism mod. Everything that you do in the mod happens with this machine first. So the recipe for it is actually something that we can just make. And like all the machines in Mechanism, you can make it better because you can have a metallurgic infuser factory, which is like a metallurgic infuser that does several different things at the same time. It's like instead of only having one input, you'd have like, say, 3 or 5 or 7 inputs. That's what the factories do in Mechanism if you've never looked at it. So today is going to be a lot of crafting, a lot of setting up systems so that we don't have to mess with them again. And then once we're done with this, we kind of can do anything at that point. All the quests will become simply we go to our transmutation table and boom, we pull the thing out of thin EMC. So from that point forward, everything else that goes on in the pack is just going to be like, we pull it out, it's done. We pull it out, it's done. We pull it out, it's done. So this is kind of like sort of the last hurrah before we can just finish everything, except for the chickens. Chickens is something I said I wanted to have done by the end of it, so let's see where we are. We're getting close. Is the end of this? I put a dark matter pedestal, and also one of the watches here, so that way it would go ahead and tick up on these for us. I think that's going to be the 10-10-10 for this one. Yeah, magical wood is currently where we're at. So if we look at that, at roost, cuckoo, magical wood is here. So, I mean, like I said, we've got, I don't know, maybe 15 left, and then we'll be done. Some of these we've already done. Woof, we're getting there. We are getting there. So, yeah, let's make a metallurgic infuser. So here's the recipe yet again. For our purposes, I'm going to make 5 of them, just like that, yeah, because there's a variety of materials that you can use inside of a metallurgic infuser, but there's mainly 4, redstone, diamond, coal or charcoal, carbon, and then also obsidian obsidian. So we're going to use those, but then I'm leaving a fifth one open just in case I decide to go crazy with this. And, of course, eventually we want to turn these into factories. But let's go ahead and drop them down over here in the workshop area. We're going to put them right next to the crafters. Then if we look at it, I think, can we just, show recipes? So, you can see basically how it works. We drop some kind of material over here, and then it combines with the material here, and then makes us a thing. Yay! Now, of course, if you really want to get like super duper into it, you can eventually make these compressed varieties of the stuff you're putting into it, like compressed diamond, compressed redstone, compressed carbon, etc., etc. For our purposes, since we don't really care about it at all, because we have basically infinite resources of whatever type we want, I'm not going to bother with making the compressed stuff. I'm just going to use the stuff like straight away. So it's diamonds, refined obsidian, charcoal, some kind of carbon, and then redstone. We're just going to like automatically put it into here and then go from there. And we'll start working on making these alloys, because these are the things that we actually need to be able to progress up to getting the HDPE sheets, because these make us the higher tier machines, which are used for it. I keep going into this thing like I need to set up a whole system when I can make exactly one of the thing that I need and then duplicate it through EMC. We're at that dumb part of the pack where we can really make anything we want without even having to try. So time to take the simple route out. We really only need to make like a couple of things here. So we're going to make a crusher, and then let's grab ourselves up some pumpkins, because we're going to need to crush up a few of these, because the biofuel and I think also the basic substrate actually don't have recipes or EMC values, so those we do have to make. So we're going to throw this in here, and we're just going to let it do its thing. It's going to be a minute, and it's going to be really loud. So, anyways, now that we got our biofuel, let's take a look at what we need next. So in the PRC, which we need to make one of these, obviously, as well. But we need biofuel, and we need hydrogen and water. So getting infinite water, not a problem. We've got sinks. Hydrogen, though, requires an electrolytic separator that is also using water, and it makes hydrogen and oxygen. Now, the thing about these is that these are gases, so they are not liquids, even though that's what they look like, because they've kind of got that tank look to them. So we will need a different type of conduit/cable to be able to move these around, which is not hard to get. So at ender gas. Okay. So there's 3 levels to it, just like there is for most conduits. You can also use the native things that are there in Mechanism. Obviously, they have cables that support all of their own stuff. The basic gas ones are conduit binder steel and enriched alloy, I'm so sorry, enriched alloy, which is redstone and iron. I've already made up a bunch of enriched alloy, so we'll just make a few of these. We'll do one, right? Because do we use these to make the bigger ones? We do. Reinforced alloy is an enriched alloy with a diamondium, either a crushed diamond or the diamond compressed that you can get. So we don't have any of that yet. But obviously that's what we'd want eventually. So we'll make a whole stack of these. A whole stack. Because we have to turn these into the bigger ones if we want to anyways. So we might as well just go ahead and make a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So now we've got the conduits, and now we need the... what is it? What is it? The PRC, which... an enrichment chamber, steel, 2 empty gas things, and a dynamic tank. Yeah, let me put all this together. Yeah, so I got it made up, and I also made the electrolytic separator. This is the thing that takes in water and turns it into hydrogen and oxygen. And then I put 2 ultimate gas tanks on the side here. This one for hydrogen, and this one for oxygen. So it's automatically pumping out into those. It's taking in water from the front. This is one of those machines that has like very specific ways that it has to do stuff. It can only take in water from the front. It can only output the 2 gases to the side. So that's basically how you have to set it up. You don't really have an option there. In the menu for it, there's a little button down here that says idle. You can set that to dump excess, dump entirely, or idle. Idle means it doesn't do anything if it fills up. I have it currently set to idle on the machine because I want these to be kind of like an overflow thing. So these I'm going to set to dump excess. So when there is enough that it hits the top mark, it's going to go ahead and get rid of the extra stuff. And so now you can see this kicked back into action because the oxygen one was not full up. It's only about halfway because it produces half the oxygen that it does hydrogen. Then I've got energy in between, and it's going up into a PRC. I have sync here doing both of them. It's got a maximum level of extract speed upgrades going on. So it should be able to keep up with both machines, no problems. I've already got the hydrogen gas conduits flowing up into this. I just have not turned on the extract yet. So we're going to do that together here. Boop, always active. And so now we should, I mean, I'd really like to believe that we're going to see some stuff flowing up into this, but it's not happening. And it totally should be, because this is set to insert. This is set to extract. Always active. This is, I guess I have to, yeah, output to the top. There we go. There we go. Now it's going. You have to mess with the configs quite a bit. And don't forget there's multiple tabs on the side, so there's energy and fluids and items sometimes. So, you know, just play around with it till you get it. So this should, if we go ahead and put this in, oh yeah, that's making us the substrate. Now this does have maximum upgrades on it for speed, energy, and muffling so that it doesn't make any noise and it runs pretty efficiently. It would run slower if you didn't upgrade them, but the upgrades are not that hard to make. So great, now that we've got the substrate, we can go ahead and set this one up, and I figure we'll just kind of do that one together, and you can watch how the struggle happens. So for this one, we need oxygen to come over. So we're going to put it there, and then there. I'm kind of trying to keep it away from the other machines, so that's why I'm stretching out into this extra territory. So we'll put that against there, and then we have to set this to insert, this to extract always active, and then again set this to where it is actually outputting to the top. So yeah, there we got the oxygen, and then we need the ethylene from this, and I think that ethylene is still a liquid, but I'm not 100% certain on that. So we're going to just try. We're going to put a fluid conduit in between here, and then this one we're going to set to insert only. This one we're going to set to extract only and always active. Did it pull? It didn't. Oh, it didn't. I need to set the front to input. Still didn't pull. I need to set the front to fluid, yes? Nope. This one set fluids to, it can't eject. What? It cannot eject the fluid? How do you get the fluid out then? It totally needs to be able to eject there. Huh. Maybe it's one of the ones where there's like a definite way that it does it. Or maybe it's not a fluid. Let's go ahead and pull this back out. We'll grab another gas conduit. And then we'll do side config again. This time for fluids. Output's already highlighted. It still says it can't eject, but it's on blue, so let's just do this. We're going to do extract, always active, and then insert. Did it go in? Is it set up? Yes. 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 Everything should be coming in on the front, so that's just super duper unfortunate that it's not. Okay, I'm going to have to play with it for a minute, I guess. So this has been some of the most madness-inducing amount of time that I have spent here. So I figured out what I was doing wrong. It's not ethylene you need in the other PRC, it's liquid ethylene. So there was like a step I forgot. You have to put the ethylene into this rotary condensator, and then that we'll turn it into liquid ethylene. This is the GUI for it. But it will not push this liquid ethylene out. I have tried everything you see here. I have tried ultimate pressure. This is supposed to be for gas, but I tried it. This is supposed to be for liquid, and it does connect to it, but it will not push it, even if I use the configurator to turn it into a push mode. I've tried pulling on the other end. I tried using the fluid conduits, the item conduits, the gas conduits, all this stuff I tried. The one thing I could get to work to move this stuff around is to go and get a gauge dropper, which is what you actually use to like empty out stuff. And if I click on it, I can come over here into the PRC and I can right click it in there. And it should not be that difficult, but it is. So now, finally, I can take this substrate and turn it into the HDPE pellets. Just like that. Just like that. And then this, I can use to make HDPE sheets. And now that I have one of them, I can have all of them. So just in case, I don't think there is another use I have for this, but just in case, I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to get some out, and then I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to get myself some blocks, and I'm going to put them in one at a time. And I'm just going to make a whole bunch of them. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to take these, I'm going to do this to get one HDPE sheet, and then I'm going to do the same thing for it. I'm going to take one, come over here, put it in, and then drop a block of emerald, drop a whole bunch of blocks of emerald. And then there we go. Now we've got the HDPE that we need. Let me clear this chest, clear up my inventory, and then we will make that tablet. Step 2 of 3 done for our road to supremacy. Now we can access our transmutation inventory anywhere at all. So the last thing that we need to do is we need to get the Tome of Knowledge. What you can see here is just an Indus Pearl, a Chaotic Core, and a Transmutation Tablet. Chaotic Core is thus. Indus Pearl is thus. No problem at all. There's our Indus Pearl. And over here, this is where we're going to get our Chaotic Core. No matter how many times I see this, I'm always impressed with how cool it looks. Speed it up a little bit. There we go. And then we'll take this here, and this here, and this here. Pedestal tier 2 low. Oh, right. This is a chaotic crafting infusion. So we'll need to make the chaotic... track... KO... What's required for these? So, a dragon egg, a chaotic core, and 4 diamonds. That's not that crazy. So that times 12... Not too bad at all. In the midst of getting all that stuff together, I also noticed that I was on the last chicken, so there we go. That's our last chicken in too. We now have every chicken on this list that we are able to breed. We're only missing like the Chicanosto and the American Funway chick and Mr. American chick. All the ones we can't breed, basically, because there's no way to get them. I went a little crazy trying to get these out. But yeah, man, that's what it looks like. Woo! All chickens, all cows. Alright, I upgraded them all. We got our tablet in there, and now we're starting it up. Boom, boom. Woo, 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 woo. So with this, we know everything. Like, we can make anything. All we gotta do is burn it. So if we come over here to our table and burn this, we know everything. And now we know everything. So with this, we can finish up every quest that is involved in this pack. No problem, just using EMC. There are very few items that require so much EMC that we would need to make an actual system for it. And the truth is we've already made them. So guys, that's it for me. There's nothing else that I have to do there that's a challenge. I guess Thaumcraft stuff, but I don't want to do Thaumcraft, so this is going to be the last episode of Stoneblock 2. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know I did. Please leave a like down below. If you enjoyed it as well, feel free to subscribe because there's other stuff coming down the line. So I'm going to continue streaming Dark Souls, and I'll throw that up on YouTube while I try to figure out what else it is that I would like to do. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Ciao, bye, auf Wiedersehen, and later!